We've got breaking news right off the top of the show here. Onorato Company. Breaking news in the world of tennis regarding an absolute legend in the sport. We've already seen one GOAT, if you will, walk away. Another says it is time for that to happen. Everything okay over there?
Yeah.
Why? Okay. I don't know. Something, your mic or something, boinging around. Chris Onorato, it's Ashley Miller. We've got NFL Week 2 games. We've got the Pick 6 Vodka Pick'em with our guy Andy Heck from Alpenhaus. We talked about it last week, the initiative here to do some good, hopefully, on this show with some nonprofits in the capital region. Aaron Judge continues to close in on 61. Are you more interested in that or Albert Pujols going for 700? We'll talk about that on the show. Ash, good morning.
Good morning. How are you? Back in your log cabin.
Back in my log cabin. We have no time to waste this week. Let's get going.
This is Onorato Company. Brought to you by Alpenhaus.
Shout out to all of our local business partners here on Onorato Company. They keep us going each and every week. And some programming news.
Yes.
I can only, I think, share half of it. You, I think, Ash, are more in the know than I am at this point. It sounds like, well, I know for sure, you will be able to now watch us on News Channel 13, Sunday mornings at 6 a.m. So, gosh darn it, Saturday night, don't stay out late. Go to bed and watch us at 6 o'clock Sunday mornings. We are still on my 4 Saturday evenings. And if you're watching us, it's very possible that you're watching us a half hour earlier. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that part's definitely true. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the email says effective this weekend. So I'm going to say it's announceable.
6 p.m. Saturday nights on my 4, 6 a.m. Sundays on News Channel 13.
News Channel. We've made it. We've made it to the big station.
It is 6 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday.
You wouldn't believe how many people are up at 6 a.m. watching News Channel 13.
Yeah, I might be the only one.
5 a.m. and 7 a.m., but now maybe we'll bridge the gap.
Yeah, we will lead right into News Channel 13 weekend today on Sunday mornings with Caitlin Erla and Christina Talamo. So good morning, Caitlin and Christina. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
This is going to be confusing with all of our days and
You're
time.
not kidding. I just have given up on that completely. I let people figure it out for themselves. That's why the internet exists. J-Man says, good morning, Chris and Ashley. Carol is watching as well. Let me ask a stupid question here off the top, and I'll just put Jason's good morning up here. Is Ashley a difficult name to spell? And I'm not asking you. I'm asking our viewers, the people.
It is for people.
Is Ashley a difficult name to spell? We had a piece of mail delivered to the house this past week, and your name was misspelled. And I thought, I know you've talked about it and I've seen it, but then when you really see it on a piece of mail from somebody you know, I thought, is this a difficult name?
Yeah, it just looks so wrong. So we've had this discussion before. I get a lot of ELY. I am almost sure, and we've talked about this, that it's a typo and that you're just punching keys, but it just looks so backwards when you put ELY and when you I know there are people who pronounce it more like Ashley, and obviously but it happens a lot. It happens more than you would think.
Yeah, and it's Ashely is the misspell on that. You're right. It happens more than just that's not a typo. That's not on my fingers are too fast on the, Joel says, congrats on the promotion. Thanks, Joel. I love that Joel watches us on YouTube.
Yeah.
Nick is still hoo-daying even after week 1. The Bengals. All right. That's 1 week. All right.
Yeah, we get it.
All right. Here's the breaking news. Okay. We teased it at the top of the show. This is the breaking news just before we came on the air here. And Roger Federer, the 20-time Grand Slam champ, for such a long period of time was considered to be the greatest male tennis player of all time. I don't know where he still ranks in most people's minds. he has announced that he is retiring. He's got one more kind of event in him.
Yep.
What he said is he's not going to play Grand Slams anymore. He won't be playing on the tour anymore, but he is going to play in the Laver Cup, which is next weekend, part of Team Europe against Team World. So Federer, Djokovic, and Andy Murray will be 3 of the 6 male tennis players on the Laver Cup playing against the world. But the story here, Ash, is that Federer now, 2 weeks after we last saw Serena Williams on a court, says he is now done.
Yeah, listen, you're talking about 2 of the greatest GOATs, and I know that's repetitive, but they are 2 of the greatest players in their individual sports. 2 of the greatest GOATs. Serena is the GOAT, and I don't know that that's arguable in women's tennis. And Federer is one of 3. And by the time that Djokovic is done and Nadal is done, they're just going to play longer than he is. So I think at the end of the day, their numbers will be a little gaudier. He's my favorite men's tennis player of all time. The thing I like about him most is just the way that he goes about it. His personality is just so calm, cool, and collected. He says all the right things. He seems like a genuine guy. That's what I love most about him, aside from the fact that he owned Wimbledon for the entirety of his career. And I get it. It's a surface thing, but he won enough other tournaments to make him legit on other surfaces.
Well, yeah, look, the knock on Federer for a long time was, he's just Pete Sampras 2.0. Sampras never won on clay, never won the French. Federer's got one at Roland Garros.
But he won on other hard courts.
But he is not his dominance on grass at Wimbledon is not as skewed like Nadal at the French. Yeah, so I think it's interesting you say he's one of 3. I know Nadal is going to have more Grand Slam titles than maybe both Federer and Djokovic, respectively. But the fact that he has, 14 of them at the French, 13 or 14 of them, whatever that number, is that enough for you to say, I'm not going to put him as the greatest of all time because it wasn't spread? I don't know. Nadal is still great. Djokovic is still great. This feels like,
I said one of 3.
We could do the LeBron Jordan debate here in men's tennis, even, right? Potentially. But
and Djokovic has his preferred surfaces as well. Listen, every tennis player is going to shine more on one specific surface. There aren't many who can just, win every tournament on every surface. It's just so different. So you're always going to have that. There's going to be kind of a niche or one that you prefer. But yeah, Roger was able to win on all surfaces, although it was heavy Wimbledon, versus Nadal was real heavy clay or is real heavy clay and a few others.
Yeah, right. I'm not going to punish somebody just because they've been able to kind of master one surface over the other. Did you see this? Middle of the week, Serena Williams, when asked about her future or playing again or whatever, she referenced Tom Brady coming back. And she said something like, I think it's really cool, the trend that Tom has started. Are you kidding me? She said, you never know. Now, look, I'm okay with her saying you never know. I don't want to rule anything out because who knows, one day I might wake up and decide I want to play again. Fine. Yeah. But let's be very clear. There is nothing cool about what Tom Brady did. There is nothing. People were so exhausted by the Brett Favre stuff. Yep. Now, all of a sudden, it's cool? No. If you decide you want to come back and play again, all the power to you. I'll support that 100% because it's your life, it's your career. You go for it. But don't tell me that this yo-yoing is cool. No, it's exhausting. When you decide you want to come back, go ahead and come back, and I'd love to watch you play again. But in the meantime, I'm really not interested in the maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Listen, it's not her fault that she gets asked the question. And to be honest with you, the night that she retired, the night that she lost at the U.S. Open, they asked her the exact same question. And she said, you never know, because you can never say never. So she's not just going to write it off and say, no, I'm never coming back, because then you look like a hypocrite or a flip-flopper or a liar when you decide to come back, because you never do know. You never know what life brings. And we never know, just like she never knows. But I just think, leave her alone. Just let her retire for a few minutes. And then later on down the line, when she wants to come back, you say, okay, what changed?
Now,
I don't love it.
she doesn't have to do Good Morning America and Jimmy Kimmel. You go on those shows, you know you're going to be asked about it.
I get it.
If you're stepping away, but she doesn't. She has,
but she's evolving. She
Yes.
wants to evolve her product, her life, her business. In order to do that, she wants to go on these shows.
And you're going to be asked these questions for sure. Nick says he'll take Borg, McEnroe, and Connors. So he's going back. Okay, he'll take the 80s crowd. Okay. What I'm not knowing is making my brain hurt. I know. Look,
ours too.
We don't know.
Right.
What do I know? Nothing. I know nothing. So I'm not going to pretend to know and not know. I'm just saying until you know, I don't really want to hear about it. That's all.
Right.
That's all.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Carol wants to know what promotion she missed. Real quick, Carol.
Oh, no real. You can now watch us Sunday mornings on News Channel 13 at 6 o'clock.
And Saturdays at 6 p.m.
Right, Saturdays at 6 p.m.
We're going up an hour, but we are also going to be on
up a half hour.
Up a half hour, sorry.
Yeah. Boy,
back a half hour, whichever you prefer.
Not going to end well. It's still Thursday mornings at 10. That's
always.
Well, for now. I have ideas.
Until next week.
For now. I'm not sure that's going to stick. Okay, we're back right after this on Onorato Company.
Teams, athletes, organizations. We're transforming the custom apparel industry through product and purpose. Claim your crown.
Fire, water, smoke, mold, and sewage cleanup. Reconstructing your home after a disaster can be both stressful and demanding. KPM Restoration will work quickly to restore your home. We'll help provide complete damage restoration to your property.
My problem was that I was traveling. There was a leak in my basement. We called KPM. They came in at 9 o'clock at night and were there till 2 o'clock in the morning until the problem was solved.
KPM Restoration. We'll get you back to normal.
And now back to Onorato and Company. Brought to you by Albert House.
Pick Six Vodka NFL Pick'em still to come here on the show. Onorato and Company, Chris Onorato and Ashley Miller with you. We
feel like a train that's gone off the tracks already.
Yeah, I prefer it that way. If it just kind of naturally, if it evolves, if you will, to that. We'll look back at last week and how we did. I always say, as long as you're kind of 500 out of the gate, that's pretty good. One of us was actually better than that. And we have Andy Heck from Albert House coming up as our guest picker. Here's the deal with the Pick Six Vodka NFL Pick'em this year. Each week, we will alternate between a local nonprofit representative and one of our show supporters. So Peter Gannon, who is the CEO, and I don't know that he's president. He might just be CEO and executive director. I don't know. He's CEO of
United Way
of the United Way of the Greater Capital Region. He was our guest last week, and Andy Heck, who of course with Albert House, big supporter of the show, will be our guest this week. So we'll just flip flop each and every week.
Yeah,
and then at the end of it all, whichever nonprofit fares best, they will be the beneficiary of a nice donation thanks to our local business partners. So we ask a lot of them already. We are asking for even more, and they are ready to deliver.
Always ready to help.
Which is absolutely awesome. Okay, so these are games that are not on our Pick Six Vodka slate this week.
Yes.
But they are intriguing nonetheless. I'm in for Chargers Chiefs Thursday night. Will I see a lick of it? I don't know. Depends on how long I can stay awake.
You can get a nap in today.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. But this is a great NFC West. And how about, listen, how about the Chargers out of the gate here? Mm-hmm. They've had to deal with both the Raiders and the Chiefs now. I mean, there's no easing into the season for Los Angeles with really difficult division games. They find a way to beat Vegas week 1. Now they're going to Kansas City to take on Patrick Mahomes, who so dearly misses Tyreek Hill. He only threw 5 touchdown passes week 1.
Yep.
Yeah. So that'll be a good Thursday nighter. Which one here are you most looking forward to?
Oh, probably Thursday night's game. That division to me is infinitely interesting in terms of Chargers Chiefs. I love that division, but I think we're going to determine some pretenders or contenders in the other games in terms of like, we're going to find out real quick if Arizona is as bad as they played against the Chiefs or if the Chiefs are just really good. I'm interested to see what the Cardinals do there. The Raiders, kind of the same thing though. Like, are they going to be good? I just think there are a lot of games here. Like, and then listen, if the Dolphins beat the Ravens, I think people are really going to start to talk about the Dolphins. The Dolphins went over the Patriots last week. For me, does nothing. I just don't care. I don't think the Patriots are very good. So until they beat someone that's of substance, okay, then I'll believe that the Dolphins might be legit. I think Mike McDaniel's really good. I think he's an interesting offensive mind.
Yep.
I'm not on the Tua bandwagon, haven't been, and I just don't believe in him necessarily. But go beat the Ravens and people are going to start to believe.
I think Miami can win that game. That's an obvious statement. I think Miami's going to win that game. How about that?
Ooh,
I think Miami's going to win that game.
Okay.
I think New Orleans is going to win at home over Tampa Bay. And I think the Raiders have to win on Sunday against Arizona. If Vegas loses that game at home, 0-2 start for a team that I think has great potential. I don't want to hear about the numbers between Carr and Adams. That's not going to do it for me. This has to be a win on Sunday for Vegas. So I think the most important game is for Vegas, to be completely honest with you. New Orleans and Tampa are both 1-0. Miami and Baltimore are both 1-0. The Chargers and Chiefs are both 1-0. I got a couple of 0-1 teams here at the end of this graphic. To me, 0-2. Nope.
Billy's got a question. We don't know who is 0-2 yet. I assume he's asking us who we think will be 0-2, who we think. Listen, if the Raiders go 0-2, it's probably the Raiders.
Yeah, I would like the Raiders to bounce back from 0-2 more than I'd like the Cardinals to bounce back.
What if the Packers get beat this weekend?
Correct. Right.
Then it's probably the Packers. So until next week, I guess we'll answer that question next week.
What if the Niners fall to 0-2?
Nah, then they're done.
Brian's watching as well. Early break today from work. I like that. Schedule those breaks right at 10 o'clock on a Thursday whenever you can make that happen. Makes sense to me. All right, so that's a look at the week 2 games that are not on our Pick 6 Vodka board. We've got more NFL on the way here, Ash. Let's get into our Performance Industrial Dirty, Difficult, Done.
And now, Dirty, Difficult, and Done. Presented by Performance Industrial.
Shout out to Bill Miller in South Glens Falls and his great team at Performance Industrial. A lot of epoxying of floors that they do, but there is no job that is too dirty or too difficult for them to get it done. All right, Ash, here you go. The triple Ds.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to have a little bit of fun with my triple D. Instead of going one, I'm going all. And this is my week 1 NFL thoughts. Who was dirty, who was difficult to watch, and who is already done after week 1. Nothing groundbreaking here, but I thought of all the teams that I watched play, the Bills were the best. They were dominant. They beat the reigning Super Bowl champs on the road, the way that they did it. And that's not like they turned the ball over 4 times and still won by 21. As bad as that is, 4 times, they put their defense in terrible situations, and their defense, all they did was bail them out all game long. So just imagine if they don't turn the ball over, what that team could look like. I think that the Bills, after week 1, are the most impressive team. The Vikes were pretty good. I thought what they did with Justin Jefferson and Kevin McConnell's first game as head coach, whatever he did, really worked. Because we've said it, that Packers defense is supposed to be a top 5 defense in the league. And Justin Jefferson didn't have anyone around him. And of all the people on the field, he should be the only one to have everyone around him. So yeah, the Vikings and Bills for me were the dirtiest in terms of a good. You got a dirty? What's your favorite dirty?
Oh, I'm saying this is your segment here.
All right. Difficult for me was difficult to watch, and the Jets were difficult to watch, but I picked the Cowboys because everything about that game was miserable, and that was with Dak Prescott. Now you lose Dak Prescott for 6 to 8 weeks with a broken, fractured thumb, and you're going to have the Cooper Rush show. The Dak Prescott show was pretty bad. I think the Cooper Rush show is going to be worse, but they scored 3 points with Dak. He was sacked twice, no touchdowns, 1 interception, 134 yards of offense. It was ugly. It was bad. It was all those things. And it just was not fun to watch for me. I was sitting at the station on Sunday night. It was miserable.
Yeah.
For me, this is not groundbreaking. The Jets are done. I don't care if it's Joe Flacco. I don't care if it's Zach Wilson. All of it's bad. I don't think Zach Wilson is going to be the answer. I don't think he's going to change things all that much for the New York Jets. This is the part that concerns me a little bit. And maybe part of it was because they were down against the Ravens, but they weren't down significantly until the second half. They threw the ball 59 times and rushed it 17. You can't win like that. I don't know if that's a Saleh mentality, but if that's the way you're going to go, that team is not going to win many games.
Well, you can't win like that with Joe Flacco. I mean, 37-year-old Joe Flacco, but if you have Mahomes, I'll sling it 59 times and take my chances. At least have a shot.
They can't win like that. That is not a team built to win like that.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco is not Patrick Mahomes.
No.
And even so, the Chiefs have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, the Chiefs have running back options, so they're not going to.
So the shine is off the Jets draft class?
No, I don't think the shine is off the Jets draft class, but you can't win with that. I don't think you can win with that quarterback.
Yeah. Wilson.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he wasn't in then. I just don't think he's going to make enough of a difference. Now, listen, Sauce Gardner, it wasn't even like he was great. They just totally avoided him.
Yeah.
Totally avoided him.
All right, I'm on the done side of things here. The Lions' 2-year underdog streak is done. The Detroit Lions are favored for the first time in a football game in 25 games. They went 24 straight games of being an underdog. No more, says Dan Campbell's Hard Knocks champion Detroit Lions. A favorite. I like it.
I like it too.
I'm not sure that I would. I don't know how. I'm sure that I feel confident I wouldn't bet them, but I like that.
What's the line? Do you know?
I think it's only 2.5. Let me look. But I like that the streak is over here. Hang on a second. I got it here. Stand by, everybody. I like that the streak is finally over. A little bit of love from Vegas for the Lions after they played the Eagles really tough last week, right? I mean, that game was a lot closer at the end than it certainly should have been. They are a 1.5 point favorite against Washington.
Okay. I think it was Jay was saying Commanders 2.5 easy money.
Yeah, it has moved, which tells you the public is going to bet against Detroit. You know what? Let me tell you something. If that is a 1.5 point spread come Sunday morning, I am going to hammer the Lions. Hammer them.
All right.
Okay? Because that becomes a pick 'em for me, and I like Detroit to win that game somehow, some way.
I don't dislike the Commanders, actually.
And Nick says the Lions might make the playoffs.
Not in that division, they're not.
Nick, no, I don't think that's going to happen. All right, quick timeout here. When we come back, the Pick Six Vodka NFL Pick'em. Our guest picker, Andy Heck, will jump on the show as well. Ash and I will give our picks before any of that happens, though. Back right after this on Onorato Company.
I don't care what kind of stories that's been told on you. That may be a lot of things in life you used to do. If you can't give true love to me, I'll understand. Just do the best you can.
Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs and 95 calories.
And now back to Onorato and Company. Brought to you by Alpen House.
Would you rather go through a table or get hit with the chair?
Table.
I mean, nobody's putting you through a table. Let's be very clear.
Oh, I've been put through a table. Hell, I put myself through a table.
I was going to say,
through a table one time.
he's going through the table. He's doing the damage to the table.
The tough part for me is usually the tables give a little bit of resistance, but for me, going through a table, it just disintegrates. So it's quick table, hard floor. There's no buffer. It's like opening your parachute like 5 feet before you hit the ground. It really doesn't do anything.
That's part of our conversation with Paul White from All Elite Wrestling in Albany this week. Paul is not here, but AEW is in Albany this week at MVP Arena. You can see that conversation right now on News Channel 13's Facebook page. We had a little special interview with Paul earlier in the week. It's getting some pretty good reviews. I would encourage you to go find it either on my Twitter page, Ashley's Twitter page,
That's good
or
stuff.
News Channel 13's Facebook page. You can see the entire conversation with Paul White. All right, Ash, let's get into week 2's games here. The Pick 6 Vodka NFL Pick'em.
And now your weekly NFL Pick'em. Presented by Pick 6 Vodka.
Shout out to Holly and Adam and Serge with Saratoga Courage Distillery and Pick 6 Vodka, and our sponsor here for this segment. We've got our guy Andy Heck ready to go as well. Andy, I know he can hear and see us. Ash and I will get through our picks here before we bring Andy on, and he will then break down the games as well. So the 6 games we have, we start with Panthers, Giants. Is there still some momentum from that 2-point conversion Brian Dable called in week 1? I'm on the Giants here. I am drinking the Kool-Aid big time with the biggest ladle you could possibly find that you've seen those punch bowls at frat parties. The big ladle, that's me. Give me it all on the Giants and Dable early on this season. Yes, they will win. They will cover.
You don't. You would be in on the big ladle frat party punch, regardless of the Giants or Panthers. So, but either way, I'm not going to get overexcited. I think that the Giants are going to be a better team. I just think Baker didn't get a win last week. He played decent. I think I'm going to go Panthers. I'm going to go Panthers outright, I think. But yeah.
Panthers to win. Okay.
Yeah. These picks were really hard for me.
They were very difficult.
I thought last week I was like, all right, I feel good about all these. This week I was like, I have no idea.
I'm with you. I agree. The spreads made it difficult. I'm with you. That is a 6.5 in favor of the Cleveland Browns, and we are both on the Browns, despite the midfield logo that was unveiled this week of the I don't know. The elf. It's Brownie the elf.
Yep.
We're both on the Browns here. We're going to say Jacoby Brissett plays well enough to cover a touchdown against the Jets, Ash.
Yeah. The Jets aren't very good. The Browns got a win last week. I know it was against the Panthers, but yeah, I just think the Browns are better.
I mean, the Browns should run the ball 60 times.
Yeah.
I would hunt and Chubb all day long. And we're both on the Steelers here too. Patriots at the Steelers. We don't love New England. We know that. And this is what's interesting here is Vegas is reacting to the injuries. Obviously, TJ Watt is going to miss significant time. It sounds like Najee Harris is going to play.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll double check that, but Tomlin is saying he's going to play.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting points at home against a New England offense that stinks. Okay, I'll give them to me. I'll take them.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Until the Patriots prove that they're capable. I don't love the Patriots this season. And I never thought I would be betting on a Mitch Trubisky-led Steelers team. I thought I'd be betting on a Kenny Pickett-led Steelers team. But here we go, on the Mitch bandwagon.
Well, okay.
Not real bandwagon, just for this game.
Bengals and Cowboys. Now, little insider here. We didn't do this last week, and that's bad on me. I should have had the Patriots on the slate for our guy, Peter Gannon, so he could pick his team. You know this. I sent an email to our graphics guy, John Conlon, who does a great job for the show. and I knew that Andy would be our next person. So I said, got to include the Cowboys. This is before Dak was injured, people.
Now it doesn't even
before
matter.
they lost. And then I thought, well, now I just feel bad. Now I feel like we're rubbing it in Andy's face. We're going to make you pick a Cowboys game without Dak at quarterback. But needless to say, we're both on Cincinnati here on the road.
It's a big number.
Go ahead, say
but
it.
It's Cooper Rush, and they scored 3 points last week. And I just think Joe Burrow will not play as poorly as he did last week.
Yeah. I hate picking Packers games, but it's the Sunday night game. We will always include
that spread
the
is huge.
Sunday night game, which is on News Channel 13 and NBC. Chicago at Green Bay, a Packers team that scored 7 points last week.
Look at that.
And Vegas has it at 10.5. Whoa. We're both on the Bears.
It's just too big of a spread for me.
You think Green Bay wins?
No. Yeah, I do. I think they win, but I just don't think that spread is too big.
I'm with
like
you.
Like you said, they scored 7 points last week.
Yeah.
Aaron is the first one to say it's going to take some time to figure it out. We got to be patient. All right. If he's saying that, I'm not giving you a win by more than 10.
Yeah. And those graphics, I know you were saying, look at that. The graphics, our guy, John Conlon, does a great job.
I was more saying, look at you picked the Bears, but
oh yeah,
the graphics are awesome too.
And we're both on the Bills here. It's a big number, 10.5. It's the first home game of the year for this team. It's a Monday night game. They will be jumping through so many tables, doing so many funnels. It'll be out of control in the parking lot. They will roll in this game.
Did you see they're letting schools out half day?
Yeah.
The city of Buffalo is the greatest city this country has to offer. Like we're 2 weeks into the school year and they're like, you know what, kids, go home early. Mom and dad are going to go to the game. We're going to let them have a good time. You get the babysitter. Like, here we go.
All right. All right. Andy Heck is here. He's with us, Ash. Let's bring Andy into the fold here.
Let's do it.
So we can get his take on his picks this week. We'll show you how I have no idea. I didn't watch. I've had access to the graphic, but I've chosen not to look because I kind of want to be surprised by this. So Andy Heck from Alpenhaus wearing the star.
Yeah!
I like
it. Hey, I don't know with how much pride, but it's I'm wearing him today.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, listen, I say no matter what's going on with your team, you got to roll with them and ride with them as always. All right, Andy, here are your picks. Let's throw them up compared to what Ashley and I are going with here. You're on the Panthers. You're on the okay. You're the only one on New England and Green Bay, so you've got a shot here to beat us. I love your approach. First, let's talk about the Patriots pick here. Why New England?
I think the Steelers. I'm just not impressed with them, and I think how can you bet against Bill Belichick 2 weeks in a row? So he's always got something up his sleeve, right?
Yeah,
Smart
fair
man.
enough. Now you have gone against your Cowboys the way I went against my Packers. 7.5 is not a small number. Why Cincinnati, Andy?
I just can't see. I mean, even with Dak in the game last week, their offense did not show much, and with their the receiver crew, being so many guys being injured, and now you got Cooper Rush in. I don't think that I don't think the ground game is going to be enough.
Okay.
I'll be rooting for hard. So we'll see.
Oh, I have no doubt. The Packers here. You were brave enough to do what I wouldn't do and take Green Bay here. Is this just Rodgers bouncing back, you think?
I think, and I think like a lot of people say, preseason is almost like non-existent. So game one on it with anybody, you almost look at like, does it really even matter? And I think I see them steamrolling this week. Every time the Bears are up for a big game against the Packers, they always seem to come up short. So I think your team's going to wrap out.
Boy,
Would either of you be surprised if the Titans cover? Because the Titans are a good team. I think the reaction of the spread is to the Bills beating the Rams by 21 for good reason. But I don't know that I'd be surprised if the Titans cover.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Bills are going to put up a lot of points, but you never know. They get up and then all of a sudden they could be one of those late scores that covers, right?
Yep.
You got Derrick Henry. You've always got a chance.
True. Here's what you're up against, Andy. Peter Gannon went 3-3 in week one. So early competition here. He has set the bar
Okay.
at 500. You need to do better than 500 here to
Well-
have the bragging rights over Peter, who I know you know very well.
I do, but I'm hoping not to even go 4-2. I'm hoping maybe for a 5-1 week. What do you think?
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, look, why not aim
Right.
high, right? I mean,
Right,
why not
exactly.
aim high?
So, but as long as I beat him and then I can chat with him Tuesday, that'll be good.
Rub it in his face a little.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Tell us
exactly.
about
But he
some
did.
of
He
the
did
great.
take. He did take my. I was going to say he did take my Cowboys. So I can't be too hard on him, right?
I know. Yeah, and obviously
Yeah.
that didn't work. Tell us about some of the great things you guys are doing. There's expansion happening at Alpenhaus, which is like almost kind of hard to believe that the incredible business you already do, there's more to do. The demand is there, and that you guys have decided, you know what, we need to kind of evolve post COVID and find new ways to reach our customer base, but I know also kind of pamper them. It's going to be a heck of an experience in Amsterdam now at that store.
Yeah, we've obviously been growing through the years, and then every business goes through an evolution where you got to look. Can you get any more out of the what you're doing, or do you have to take it to the next level? And we just saw, it was time to really do. And you saw a little bit what we're doing, just to do a really big expansion. We were bursting at the seams in so many different ways, and so we're excited, looking forward to it.
Well, it's cool, man. I can't wait until we can kind of show our News Channel 13 audience what you guys are doing, that transformation there in Amsterdam with a little maybe upstate of business segment. Andy, thanks for hopping on the show, man. And thank you for your continued support, you and Katie.
For everything. Yes. Thank you.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Have a great week and good luck to both of you on their picks.
Yeah. Good luck to you.
All right, let's get Notre Dame a win too. Andy and I were emailing about like how bad is this Notre Dame team? My goodness, he's a Notre Dame fan as well. Our thanks to Andy for hanging out and going and playing along here with our picks. Ash, this is what we did last week. I want to give you a chance here to brag at 4-2.
Yeah, but you know what happens when you brag? You get humbled real quick. So this is not a brag. I'm very proud of myself. Listen, if you could go 4-2 every week, you know how good your percentages would be. That I know that's, shooting high. I'm not as confident in my picks this week. I did feel good though about my picks last week. The games that we picked, at least, that there were plenty of games I would have lost if we picked those. But yeah, I feel good about last week.
Okay. Here's another look at what we're all up against.
We're the only thing separating us is
Giants,
Panthers.
Yep, exactly.
And I'm going to root for the Giants. So
yeah. Right. Andy's got a couple of chances here to steal games from us, which is always kind of the name of the game. Nobody knows.
He's not really playing against us, though.
That's true. He's just got to beat 3-3, right?
Yeah, for now.
They should get something for beating us, shouldn't they?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll take the winning sponsor out to dinner.
Oh.
They can bring 4 people. We'll take them out to dinner. We're not high rollers, so we got to limit the number.
That's not a bad idea.
That way they get something out of it.
I like that. Okay.
But, I have some good ideas.
So the top dog from a nonprofit standpoint gets a nice donation.
The donation, yeah.
The best
sponsor gets
dinner on us. Okay. I like that. I do. I like that a lot.
Take them somewhere where we have a gift card.
All right. Well, another time out here on Onorato Company. When we come back, the Popeyes Louisiana Fast Minute, and we've got Major League Baseball stuff to get into. I don't want to bury this thing too far down in the show. There is big time baseball news to talk about with like 2.5 weeks to go in the baseball season. Yeah. It's getting really good and really interesting.
It's becoming must-watch stuff.
All of that is still ahead here on Onorato Company.
You've heard of unsung heroes. The men and women of Naiskoba are the unseen heroes. For the past year, you've learned about our many charitable endeavors. Now it is my privilege to share with you the work performed by our members, the 20,000 state correction and law enforcement officers shielded from view. They work in difficult and dangerous conditions and are an extension of the police who protect our neighborhoods. Naiskoba honors New York's police and firefighters and salutes its own members who help deliver a peaceful night's sleep.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on. For cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair, you can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now back to Onorato Company, brought to you by Alpin House.
You don't need me, that's for sure. But it was great watching you guys play. It's been great watching you on TV. And the way you execute, the way you play physically, it's just beautiful to watch, honestly. No, you just play great basketball. And it's about consistency. So you got to keep it going. And for me, I always tell my teams the sweetest wins are which ones?
The ones on the road.
The ones on the road, baby. The ones on the road, and that's where you're going. They're the sweetest.
That is courtesy of the San Antonio Spurs Twitter page. Greg Popovich and Becky Hammon, of course, one-time colleagues on the Spurs bench, and now Becky Hammon has her Las Vegas Aces one win away from a WNBA title. I know you loved that moment post game of game 2, right?
Yeah, listen, I've knocked Pop before, and I don't know that I would want to interact with him as a media member because some of the stuff that he does bothers me. I don't think it's cool. But there shows you the genuineness and his real love for Becky Hammon. He's up in the stands. He's supporting her for everything she did for him as an assistant for 7 years. Yep. He's given her a lot of opportunities that other people in the NBA haven't. She was the head coach of their summer league team, won an NBA summer league title with them. Now has in her first season is 1 win away from a WNBA title, was a 3-time All-American at Colorado State. She has literally won and succeeded at every level. And I think
I might as well start the clock here.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. Well, now I have a little bit more. A little bit more time. I think she will be an NBA coach. I really do think she will be. I think she will be, and I think it's going to be sooner rather than later.
Here's the deal on whether or not Becky Hammon is ever an NBA coach. The question is, do you believe a female will be an NBA head coach one day? And if the answer is yes, then it's Becky Hammon.
Yeah.
Unless you tell me it won't happen for another 10 years, which I just don't believe.
Yeah, I don't either.
Then I could say, okay, she's maybe not still in the coaching game. The woman has done everything. We talked about Sue Bird last week. Becky Hammon has done everything in the sport and then some.
Yep.
Right? As a player and now as a coach, breaking down the barriers of gender in the NBA. I'm with you. I think she will certainly be an NBA coach one day.
Pop doesn't like a lot of people, it doesn't seem like. Pop loves her.
Loves her.
Tells you all you need to know, in my opinion. Yeah, listen, I think she's going to be an NBA coach, and I think it's going to be in the next 3 years, 2 years. I think it's going to be quick. Someone will take the risk. There are enough teams out there who have been, and this is going to, but like basement dwellers who, what's the worst that could happen? It doesn't work out. Okay. A lot of coaches haven't worked out for other teams that have been males. So what's the difference?
Yeah. And look, I would love to see, I know we talk about male locker rooms and the bravado of professional athletes who are men, but in the wake of all the Robert Sarver stuff,
yes,
in Phoenix, okay, when LeBron James is tweeting what he's tweeting and Chris Paul tweets what he tweets, and they are coming out against Adam Silver, in the discipline of Sarver, and basically without saying it, saying they thought the commissioner should have taken the teams away from Sarver, basically like kick him out of the league, because it's what they did to Donald Sterling.
Yeah.
And I think players are kind of like, you could have done it to Sarver here too. Now, Silver has said it's not within my jurisdiction to take a team away from him. Okay, fine. But I think I at least want to believe that despite all the public outcry that we're getting in regards to what Sarver did, that these stars would then back it up and play hard for a female. That would be really cool.
To me, the NBA feels, and part of it is is
More
Adam
progressive,
Silver.
right?
The most progressive league on the planet, and for male league on the planet for me. And part of that is because your mega stars, your superstars, are very progressive. LeBron, KD, Chris Paul. These are all guys who have seemed to rally around number one, women's rights, equality, things like that. And when that is the case, I just think like this is coming sooner rather than later. And when you've seen Becky Hammon interact with the Spurs bench and with the Spurs players, I know the Spurs team is a little different because Pop is, again, one of the most progressive coaches. He is very different than some other coaches and organizations, I think. The San Antonio Spurs were the perfect place for her, but she commanded huddles. She commanded attention, respect. You could see that when she interacted with players. So I think it is coming, and I think it's coming quickly.
What we all wanted was for Pop to step aside sooner than he has, to just
but he doesn't owe her that. You know, it's hard. He doesn't owe her that.
Yeah.
It's cool. I love it. She's just awesome. To me, she's got like Dawn Staley quality.
I knew you were going to her. Yep.
Strong, powerful, confident. I love it. I love everything about it.
Yep. Okay. While we're in this here, you know what? Let me take the last break of the show. When we come back, we're going to talk about the 2 home run chases that are currently going on in Major League Baseball. And we're looking ahead to the college football weekend. It's not great, but there are at least a couple of games that I think are worth talking about.
Happiness is found in simple things. The sun on your face, sharing laughs, at the campground, getting wet, relaxing together, the love of family. There's never been a better time to go outside and play. Alpenhaus Pool Spa Boat and RV, bringing families together and creating memories since 1964.
And now back to Onorato Company, brought to you by Alpenhaus.
Man, shout out to the Novice Clothing Company crew, Nick and Garrett Bernardo. They are in Kansas City as we speak, going to that Chargers-Chiefs game on
that's
Thursday
a bummer.
night. Now, I had a conversation with them on Monday, was it?
That's a bummer.
And they knew then
He wasn't
Harrison's
playing.
not going to play.
Yeah.
So Harrison Butker is one of the Novice Clothing Company ambassadors. And
Still
Nick and
cool to
Garrett
get to
and
go to
the
that
entire
game.
team. Oh yeah. And look, Novice has gear in the team store at Arrowhead. So they will get to experience all that, which is really cool. So shout out to them on a really cool trip that they've got going on this weekend for the NFL. In college football, here's my real one question. I will let you just have the floor. Read the screen.
The answer is I don't know. Listen, for me, they're better. They're a real football team. They're the best they've been in 6+ years. And I think they're legit. I just don't know when you have the schedule that's coming. We're going to find out a lot this weekend against Purdue. Purdue's a real team. It's even money game. They're not a 24-point favorite like they were last week against UConn. You're going to find out a lot in the next 4 weeks because you've got, Purdue, Virginia, who's always good. They'll probably be down this year. Wagner should be a win. And number 16, NC State. If they win 3 of those games, I think they're legit. They're going to have a hard time in the ACC because there are enough good teams in the ACC, Florida State, Clemson. But they are a competent football team, and that is all I have wanted in the last 6 years.
Dino's first year, he was 8-4. Is that right?
Yeah, and then after that was bad.
And this is year what for him? 5?
6, I think.
6. Ooh,
I think it's 6.
Time flies. Purdue, UVA, and then after NC State, you get Clemson, Pitt, Notre Dame. Not in that order.
Yeah,
but it's not going to be
gauntlet,
easy.
but it's not easy.
Yeah.
And they'll lose enough of those games. But if they're competitive at any point in most of those games, I would be thrilled.
I think 8-4 is achievable here. You know, listen, I would just say
closer to 6-6, I think. But even that would be great.
Notre Dame at the Dome I've seen enough of this team. And now Tyler
I haven't
Buckner.
seen much of them.
Now Tyler Buckner, who won the starting job, is out.
Yeah.
You're gonna get Drew Pine. I'm sorry. I mean, Syracuse could certainly win that game at the Dome, whenever the heck it is, against a Notre Dame team that just is not all that talented. I'm sorry.
Listen, Garrett. So I think the biggest change, Dino overhauled his staff. He brought in essentially UVA's entire staff, offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach. They have now UVA's offense, and it's working. Garrett Schrader seems like a different quarterback. He seems like this is working for him. He understands the offense. He is very similar to Eric Dungy for me in that he's a threat to run, but he can also throw. And they have a top 5 running back on the planet. Sean Tucker is a top 5 running back in the country. And I would take that to the grave. He does it all. He can pass catch. He can run. He's a great blocker. He, to me, is the key to that whole situation. He was great last year on a bad team. Now this year, he's on a decent team, we think, but he's been incredible.
Yeah, he'll be a day 2 NFL draft pick.
Yes.
I would think for sure. Here are the only 2 matchups this weekend pitting top 25 against top 25. BYU, Oregon. Interesting. Like, are the Cougs for real? We'll learn a little bit here. I think they are very good. But going to Oregon's not easy. That's not easy.
No, but I mean, Oregon didn't show anything.
No.
Anything. I mean, they went from 3 to 25. Were they ranked 3rd?
No.
5th? I forget.
Notre Dame. I think they were 8th.
Okay. They fell almost out of the top 25 after one game. To me, they were awful. But
Bama, Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, Notre Dame was the top 5 to start the season.
I mean, Georgia is going to do that to a good number of teams, but they shouldn't do it to a top 10 team.
Okay.
And
then Miami and A&M. Now, this is an opportunity, right? Like, I have to look at the line. I think I would put a lot of money on Texas A&M. I mean, they lose last week. They are embarrassed.
Yeah. This is not the game Miami wants to walk into.
They're at home. Ooh, boy, this feels like...
I think Miami might be favored.
They are.
Okay. I don't know what the line is, but...
They are.
Josh, our executive producer, Josh Kumjan, and I were talking about this game in particular. He's a Miami grad. He's like, this is not, I don't like this game. I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't.
Okay, I lied. A&M is a 5.5 point favorite.
Ooh, all right. Well, then maybe I'd hammer Miami.
Okay. I don't know. Wait a minute. Let me look at this again. Yeah. A&M is a 5.5 point favorite. I just checked online. Okay. Yeah. These are the only 2. And I still am not compelled to say I have to sit down and watch college football this weekend. That's kind of sad.
I know. Early in the season, it's tough until they really get rolling. Like week 1, you get some great games, and then they kind of trail off until you dive into conference play.
News and notes in Major League Baseball here. Ian Anderson out 4 to 6 weeks, effectively ending his 2022 season, I would have to imagine.
Yes.
He's not going to make this postseason roster now. A left oblique injury. He had one really good start. His first time out at AAA Gwinnett, struggled after that. He's been down AAA for not even a full month yet, late August at this point. And Tommy Kahnle's back. 2 strikeouts in a clean 7th inning on Wednesday night and what was a Dodgers loss. But my goodness, as if the Dodgers need more ammunition to try to win a World Series this year, Kahnle in the bullpen looks like he's a welcomed addition.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It feels like he's been out forever. That's what I saw our guy James Allen.
Middle of May.
I saw our guy James Allen tweet that he was back, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
So,
you almost kind of forgot, like, oh, yeah, was he?
Yeah.
Which one are you more interested in here? Judge going for 61 or Pujols and the career number of 700, the likes of which very few players have achieved?
Listen, very few players have achieved 61 either.
Yeah.
But I am personally more interested in Aaron Judge. That shouldn't surprise you.
It doesn't.
The Pujols thing is cool. But
is it okay? You're into that? Okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm so much more interested in Judge than I am Pujols. I just the career home run thing now. I just don't trust that these guys were clean at any point in their career for me to believe that all 700 of them are legit. I want to believe that all 61 or 2 or 3 or 4 of judges are absolutely legit. So the career stuff, I'm really kind of out on at this point. Yeah, get so many guys now over 600, whatever. I'd rather see the single season mark of 61 with a franchise like the Yankees be eclipsed than he reaches 700 in a class of guys that I personally don't know that he really belongs.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think what Pujols is doing is incredible because of his age.
No doubt.
And I think, listen.
And back with the Cardinals and all of that. Yeah.
St. Louis is arguably the best baseball city in the country. That the whole atmosphere, having him back, everything about it is nostalgic. And in that regard, I think it's cool. But yeah, for me, it's Judge. It becomes must watch.
On a Thursday, and the Yankees do not play tonight, I'll say. They didn't play on Thursday if you're watching us over the weekend. He has 57 home runs. He needs 5 more.
5 more.
This still is not easy. And
19, but 5 in 19 games.
He hit 2 the other night. I get it. He can hit them in bunches, and he can go 4 or 5 straight games with a home run.
Yep.
This still doesn't, I don't know.
It's not
Am I wrong? Am I wrong that this doesn't feel as easy as it looks? Like you look at it on the surface and you're like, well, of course he's going to hit 5 over the next, would you say 19 games? 19
games. I think he'll do it, but it's not easy. No, you're right. The way that he hits home runs, people just kind of take it for granted. He has 20 more home runs than anyone else in Major League Baseball. That's ridiculous. So I looked at their schedule and I thought, all right, if he hits 2 in the next 5 games, which is more than possible and isn't asking him to hit 1 every night. There's 3, that's 3 against the Brewers, 2 against the Pirates. He would go into a 4-game series with the Red Sox, 2 away from tying, 3 away from breaking. How awesome would that be?
If you don't have tickets to a late season Yankees game yet, get them.
I did think like, oh my God, could I get tickets to go? Because they're going to start to go. They're going to start to go just for that reason.
Of course.
But Yankees,
I think they already are going for that reason.
With a chance to break it against the Red Sox at the stadium, I will be locked in.
Does he doesn't seem like a guy that is feeling pressure of this. No. And I think it has helped, right? That the division lead has been so large for most of the season that he isn't thinking, I have to hit home runs in order for us to win, because if we don't win, we're not going to make the playoffs. Like, this team is obviously going to I think that is a huge benefit here, that he isn't looking at the standings wondering, if I don't produce, we don't make the playoffs. This team's going to the playoffs. He's already earned the $300+ million he's going to get in the winter. I think he can kind of be loosey-goosey here, and whatever happens, happens. Now, he'll be disappointed if he doesn't get to 62.
Yeah.
But I think he can be. I think there's a big load that's lifted already.
Yeah, he'll start to grip it tighter when he hits 3 more home runs. It's just going to be natural. But I think he'll do it. He seems relaxed. The lead is 6. They're playing well enough. It's not like the lead. If the lead gets down to 2, then maybe it's a different story.
And hopefully it doesn't get too cold in the Bronx when he's trying to hit those home runs. Thanks for watching Onorato and Company, everybody. Have a great weekend.